What's up, everybody? This is Cerberus Bites, otherwise known as Cerb. I want to thank you for tuning in to my channel today, as I've got some good content for you for Gray Zone Warfare. Now, this video you're going to be seeing is some gameplay of me running solo and completing the first mission for Tiger Bay UNLRA. Now, one of the things I'd like to start off by saying is that when you go in to complete this mission, I would highly recommend flying into Juliet 1. The specific reason for this is that there is a path that will allow you to encounter minimal enemies from the landing zone until you reach the objective area. Now, when you fly in to Juliet 1, there's going to be rice paddies to the south of you leading into Tiger Bay with some buildings across from it. And like I said, I am going into this mission solo, so one of the things you'll notice that I do on a consistent basis is I'm checking the surrounding areas for enemy AI or enemy players so that I am not surprised and having to react. Instead, I am being proactive, not reactive. Something to keep in mind as you're going through any of the missions in Gray Zone Warfare. Now, when you get off the helicopter at Juliet 1, you're going to head east to hit the tree line and go in to the trees roughly about 100 meters or so and head south. As you're heading south, you're going to come across a road that has a bunch of broken down vehicles and one or two enemies patrolling it. In that area, there's going to be two trucks up against a wall. It's going to be a tannish white pickup truck and a blue pickup truck with a rack and cover on the back. You're going to go between those and hop the wall to where you're going to then find, as you're approaching the objective, a gate where enemies are going to need to file through in order to reach you. So it creates what is called a fatal funnel, and allowing you to be more methodical in the way that you eliminate your enemies and have less opportunity for you to get surrounded and potentially overrun. Now, with that being said, one thing I'd like to make a note of is that I have found through my gameplay with both myself and a few of my friends is that depending on the number of people you have in your squad, it will determine the amount of enemies that spawn in, and as well as their tactics with the new hotfix. Now, one of the things you'll notice as you watch this video is that I am continually checking my angles to ensure that I can see any enemies as they approach, knowing that they are going to need to come through this gate. Now, one thing I've heard a lot of people complain about is that the AI are aimbots. They're going to one-tap you. It doesn't matter. Most of the time when I'm seeing these comments, it's usually in reference to people going back into bushes, trying to break line of sight from the enemy. And the thing that's to note is that there is a difference between cover and concealment. Cover is going to be an object that prevents a bullet from penetrating, like this pillar you see, or light pole, I guess, versus, say, a bush. A bush is not going to stop a bullet, whereas a concrete pillar or a concrete wall will. And so finding those angles where you can utilize that hard cover and prevent the amount of opportunity the enemy has to be able to take you out is going to be paramount to being successful in Tiger Bay, as the number of enemies you encounter are going to be exponentially higher than those you encounter in other areas of Gray Zone Warfare. Another tactic you'll see me use here in a second is the use of grenades. Grenades are not always going to be effective in eliminating your enemies, but what they are effective in is drawing in enemies. So as you can see, one of those enemies ducked back behind the wall and was out of my line of sight and my ability to be able to take him out. The reason for throwing a grenade there is, one, with the idea I may be able to take him out and not have to expose myself and risk potentially getting shot. The second portion is for me to potentially draw in other enemies in the area to try and get them to approach me, like you see this one here. By doing so, it brings the enemy to me where I can be more prepared and again be proactive, not reactive. This is going to be a useful tactic to be able to ensure that you can eliminate enemies effectively and limit the possibility that you yourself are going to get eliminated. Now, once you've taken out the enemies in this particular area, you're going to go out the gate and to the left. You're going to pass a cop car and come to a four-way intersection. To the left, there's more enemies and you go further into Tiger Bay, and to the right is the UNLRA refugee camp. Going towards the refugee camp, you're going to cross through a barrier, a roadblock, so to speak, and you'll see a UNLRA box truck. You'll go behind that box truck between two porta potties and into a round top tent to a desk that holds your blue file for your objective. Once you've got that file, you'll go ahead and make your way out of the area, backtracking through the locations you just cleared out of enemies while still being proactive in checking your surroundings and ensuring that you don't get any nasty surprises. Now guys, if this is the type of content that you have found helpful in your pursuits of completing tasks in Gray Zone Warfare, I would really appreciate you giving a share, a like, subscribe to my channel, as I'm going to continually put out videos that give you some guidance in completing your tasks effectively. So with all of that said, I want to say one last time, thank you, and have yourselves a great day.